Hello and welcome to our show. Welcome to Channel 8, Winfield City Television, and today we have another great show. Today I have with me as my guest William Eaves, and he's from Eaves Karate in Winfield. And I'm doing this show because I got a lot of people calling me and said we would like to hear about their trip to Scotland and what they're doing at the in karate in Winfield. So William, will you tell us something about, first of all, I'd like for him to explain, or not explain, but tell us something about himself, about how he got into karate and why he's in it, and how he came to Winfield.
Well, thank you, Gail. First, I want to say I appreciate that there's interest out there and to call and get an opportunity to do this show and let maybe some more people know who we are and what we're about and what our focus is. But as for me, getting into karate, it was started, gosh, so many years ago, 30-something years ago. In '79, I was attending then Brewer State Junior College in Fayette, and had to have some PE credits, and had some friends taking martial arts over in Mississippi, and they were always cajoling me, trying to get me to work out with them. So I took the class and loved it immediately. The first night I was hooked. Just literally the first 15 minutes I was hooked. I knew I wanted to continue it, and took it for a couple of quarters then, and didn't let my friends know until one day they wanted me to go with them, and I did. And by that time, one of them had already dropped out, so it was me and another guy. And then the secret was out. So
surprise,
yeah. So not long after, almost within 2 months of beginning martial arts, I started competing, and having always been athletic and in team sports, I enjoy competing, and this was my first opportunity to do something individually, and it just seemed to fit right away. I loved it. I had a great time competing, and it just kept growing from there. I never looked back.
How many years have you, did you say 30 years that you've been in it?
I've had the school open. We'll be starting our 30th year in September. Oh no, in March.
And you opened the first in Fayette?
Opened the first one in Fayette. I did. I had actually taught there at the junior college for a couple of years to kind of generate some interest, to be sure there was enough there. And in the meantime, went ahead and opened a school up in town, and for a while did both of them, and it went really well, and I liked it, and we just kept building, and we've moved and upgraded over the years.
Do you do children only, or do you have adult classes?
No, we have adult class. We have in the Fayette school we have the Little Dragons classes, which are from 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and here at the Winfield School we have all the ages from 5 and up. We have teens, we have adults. It's actually for anybody that's able to walk through the door. We've got a program for them.
Is it harder for adults to start than it is for younger kids?
I don't think physically it's harder. It's harder for them to feel comfortable and to get over the soreness that we feel as we get older. The kids, it's hard to wear them out, but it is hard. We don't have nearly as many adults. Most of our student base is, I'd say, 90% are 6 to 13 or 14 years old.
How many do you have in Winfield?
Students? Oh, we run about 100 active students right now.
Oh, that's a big class, and they're all broke up into different classes.
They are. We've got beginners, intermediates, and advanced. We have teens and adults classes, so we separate them because there's no way to keep them going if we don't have them separated. It'd be like throwing 6th graders in with 3rd graders.
You probably have children all the way from the beginners class all the way up to your top class in Winfield. Can you see a big difference in the confidence that the kids start having in themselves once they get into this, and discipline also?
Again, that's a great question, and that takes a couple of years, 2 or 3 years in a new place to actually see that start to develop. But I have noticed I've had a lot of compliments, and that's actually what we're about. It's helping the kids develop traits that are going to help them not only in the martial arts but in any other thing they choose to get into. Developing the time-honored principles of courtesy, integrity, self-control, perseverance, and developing a warrior or an indomitable spirit, we call it. So we've seen a lot of that. We've seen kids kind of flourished on the Alabama circuit locally. We've had kids who've traveled to some of the national events around the country, especially in the Southeast, and then, of course, we had the people who've traveled internationally, and we've been doing that for a while, just not with as big a group as we've had the last couple of years.
That must be a good thing for not only the children but the parents too, to be able to take your child to another country, not only to compete but to see their culture and to see how other countries are. I would think that would give kids a big boost, just that within itself.
It would. We stress that, especially during the months training leading up to it, that how first lucky they are to have this opportunity, and how much it's going to help broaden their horizons and help them to have a much better, usually much healthier respect for where we live, because as you know, if you've traveled outside of our country, we're in a pretty good place.
We are, and we're very fortunate to be here, and it's good for our kids to be able to go out to other countries to see how people in other countries live. I think every time you go out of the country, no matter what occasion you go out for, you're always so delighted to get back into the United States.
That's for sure.
And you're more thankful for being able to live here too. Can people start anytime? Like, do you have beginners classes that only start at a certain time? Or
no, that's one of the nice parts about our program. You can come and take an introductory class, which is a couple of private classes, and then based on what you see, you can enroll. There's certainly no obligation or pressure, but we go year round. We're not a seasonal sport at all, so you can start literally any time of the year that you like.
And it's a sport not only for guys, it's for girls also, isn't it?
We have a great female following. We do. Actually, we have a young lady who runs our Fayette facility, Miss White, who was one of the ones who opened a lot of doors for the kids you're seeing from Winfield now, by having started competing. When she actually, 3 weeks after she got out of high school, she went to Austria and took fourth in a European championship. And so after that, we started carrying a few, and Miss White's been really instrumental in always having a real strong girls group in the schools.
Do you think that parents put especially their daughters in a sports like this for maybe protection, for if they're going to go off to college or they're moving away from home? I mean, do you see that coming into play?
Routinely, we hear that, Gail. We do. We have a lot of them who come specifically for that at certain times, through their mid-teen years, and we do offer some self-defense programs geared for ladies going off and girls going off. But we see that a lot, and I think the parents liked it because it develops a lot of confidence and a heightened self-awareness about your situation, where you're at, what's going on around you, and how to deal with it, to remain calm, and to basically, it's preventive too, to not put yourself in a position where you would have to. And if worse come to worse, they're going to have a little more confidence about defending themselves with the training that they're receiving.
It's true. And I think with all the things that are happening all around the world and in the United States also, that maybe parents are more aware that their kids need to have some kind of self-defense to be able to protect themselves, especially daughters. I think guys have a bigger chance of defending themselves than women. We're going to take a break right now to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.